Hey, shalom, bro. I pray all is well with you. I'm doing this, man, so you can see my face that you know that I'm sincere about trying to correct this misinformation that you had. I'm not trying to poke fun at you, but I'm just truly for correction, and that's all it is. I was taught the same thing. I was taught wrong until I read it for myself. Keep in mind, keep in mind, the Bible was not broken into chapters and verses. You know what I mean? Because you have to ask yourself, if the Bible wasn't broken into chapters and verses back then, how did the apostles get and give understanding? It had to be in context. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through and we're going to do the prophecy in context to show you the whole understanding about us being taken into spaceships, brother, is something somebody made up. All right? Let's see. You started with Joel 3. You said, well, you started with Jeremiah 31. I touched that later. But Joel 3, you said that the Most High was going to gather the nations around to the valley of Jehoshaphat and destroy them while we are in the spaceship floating up there watching. That's not scriptural, bro. Because remember, in Romans 3, if you want to overcome when you're judged, meaning just somebody saying that you're right or you're wrong, you have to take it as it is written, right? That's what I'm going to attempt to do to you today, man. I'm going to show you as it is written that you're wrong. The prophecy has nothing to do with us standing in spaceships or sitting in spaceships watching the destruction of the other nations while the missiles come, bro. There are no missiles. There is no nuclear weapons, none of that, bro. They made that all up. I promise you. But we'll go through the prophecy and see if I'm wrong. I'm fully humble to the scriptures. I promise you, I'm fully humble to the scriptures. And I just want to get right, and I'm attempting to get you right as far as my understanding, if that makes sense. All right. So now, like I said, you pulled the Joel 3 and said that we were going to be on spaceships watching the destruction of the other nations while they are in the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. Start with Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel 38, right? Ezekiel 38 starts with the king of the north. The same story that you'll read about in Joel 3. How they came against Jerusalem or Israel, right? When you start Ezekiel 38 and go down, it gives you the progression of when Joel 3 starts and when the nations came together to fight. It gives you that progression from that point all the way up until we get our land back. All the way up until the land is divided among Israel. In that whole span, there is absolutely nothing about spaceships. Nothing. You can read about the same thing in Daniel 11. Daniel 11 and 12 gives you the blow by blow on how the fighting started between the king of the north and the king of the south, which is actually like this way. So, but anyway, it gives you that blow by blow. And when you get to chapter 12, it tells you that the angel Michael stood up and fought for the people. Who did he fight for if we all in the spaceships? You see what I'm saying? It's not. Let's get another prophecy, another story version of the same prophecy. 2nd Ezra 13. And I like 2nd Ezra 13 for Joel 3 because they basically start off the same way. Right? You got Joel 3. The nations got it together. And they're going to end up fighting the Messiah. 2nd Ezra 13. The nations they done got together, came against Jerusalem, but the scripture said that they left their fighting from each other to fight the man that came out of the sea. Talking about the Messiah, right? So now in Ezra's vision, they came fighting. The Messiah comes in, kills the nations. That was the first multitude. Then in Ezra's vision, he says there was a second peaceable multitude. He's talking to the angel. The angel is giving him the interpretation of his dream or the vision, right? He said, as far as the second peaceable multitude that you saw coming, these are those that left Assyria and went to a further country to keep the commandments. He says that the Most High, he held still the flood so they can go across. And this time, he's holding still the flood again so they can walk back. Because remember, the prophecy it's in, I think it's in Jeremiah, that Judah and Israel will walk back. They will walk back. How did Judah end up walking back with Israel? They was already in the land when the king of the north and the king of the south came. Not everybody. It was only a small portion. But the king of the north and the king of the south came. It tells you in Daniel 11 that they took them captive. So now when you get to the prophecy, I think it's in Jeremiah, about Judah and Israel walking back to Jerusalem, it tells you in I think it's 2 Ezra 13 that they came chained and bound, singing songs, happy as hell. When does the spaceships come in? Christ he done came back and did his killing. They walking back. In chains and everything. They walking back. When do the spaceships come in? You know what I'm saying? But you really have to think about it, bro. And not just think about it and read. Blessed is he that readeth, bro. Study to show yourself approved. The understanding against the prophecies has been perverted with the whole teaching of, let's get the verse here and the verse there. Precept, the word precept means law. Read through Psalms 119. And try to do, I understand more than the ancients because I understand the verses. Come on, man. Because I keep the verses. It don't even make sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that understanding has perverted the prophecy so horrible. But you can read Zechariah 14, Daniel 11, 12, the book of Micah. They all say the same thing. If there was ever a spaceship to come in or Israel would leave, it will mention it. Plus, real quick question. If Israel were to go in spaceships, then how could the prophecy be fulfilled that the other nations are going to bring us to Zion? If we was in spaceships, wouldn't the Most High just drop us off? So he going to take us out the land in the spaceships and spread us all over the world again, just so the other nations can bring us back? You know, like when you start to put the common sense to it, brother, you're going to have some questions. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to discuss the prophecy further, bro, that's my thing. I damn sure get into it. But consider that, man, please. Please consider that, bro. What I just laid out. You know what I'm saying? That just not even with my notes. That's just off the top of the head, bro. Because when you read Zechariah 12 goes into us being over in the land too, before the Messiah comes back. Zechariah 12 does also. That's why Joel 3, that's why they're over there fighting. That's why they came against Jerusalem. There will be no need to come against Jerusalem if the other nations are still there. None. For what? You fighting your own people. None at all. But that's what's happening with all this stuff going on right now, bro. But anyway, man. But if you got any questions, man, or you see something that I don't see, then let me know, bro, because I could be wrong. I honestly could be wrong. All right, bro. Shalom.